Yes, welcome everyone. It's an amazing day, and I'm from Sweden. My name is Michael. I'm 39 years old, and today you're going to be introduced to a special guest a little later here in 5 minutes, approximately. And my story, short. I'm a former ice hockey player. I'm living here in Sweden. I was introduced to a pioneer project here in Connect 4 years ago. 4 years seems to be a long time, and it has been a long time and long waiting, but big things are happening right now in this company. And what I want to do is just share a little bit here so everyone can understand what this is about. So wait a little bit here. There we go. So this company, Connect, I was introduced to in 4 years ago. And during this time, many things happened. In the beginning, there was no software, there was no nodes, because this company was, the co-founder of this company is right first on. And there's a lot of different projects that are independent from each other, but they are dependent of Connect. And Connect are located in Utah, and I'm really happy that it's based in USA, because many different companies are not based in USA because of regulation and so on and so forth. So today we are going to talk about Element, and we have a special guest that have a very much high respect for, that we're going to introduce here really soon. And one thing that is very important, that the information in this presentation should not be considered as financial advice. We are not educated financial advisors. Do your own due diligence, get educated. Knowledge is power, minimizing the risk, never invest in more, can afford to lose. Very important. And as I said before, Connect have many different brands, and they are independent from each other, and they are growing really fast right now. So we have like three different brands, or four here in these different brands that are coming in the future. But here we have Element that we're going to introduce today to everyone here. I'm really excited about that. We have Switch. It's like a crypto bank where you can exchange fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat. You have IBAN also, so you can pay your power bill in the future and different other bills you have. And every project is run by nodes. But what is a node? You can see it is, if you was a pioneer in a long time ago with a cell tower, for example, and when adoption happen and people get to use it, you can get rewarded something because you own the cell tower. It's the same thing with nodes. You can relate to that because you can download a software called a node on your computer or virtual private server, and this get you reward of a token every single day because it's solving different algorithms, and you get rewarded tokens for that. And the more adoption and these different brands, the more value it can bring to you in the future. And all these different products have a purpose. So many tokens out there, it's a speculative, someone buy bitcoins and hope someone else will buy it for a higher price. And that's the way it works for many tokens today. And we also have Win. It's a very interesting because they have a social platform and many other things that the node going to verify in the future and get rewarded tokens. We have also a Green that is a very interesting project that I was part of 4 years ago, that is now going to be really huge also because they brought in a new president called Jonathan Gibbs. We all have been introduced to him here in the last week. And he was one of the biggest shareholders and operation working in the Lumio, in the solar industry, and one of the most profitable company in that arena. And he is now going to be official soon here at the new president going worldwide. So Green, you can pay your power bill very soon in the future, and you can learn more about that in our regular presentations. We have Blue that I think it was like 1 week or something, they changed name to Galvan. So it's like a telemedicine where you can pay, you can get consultation from a doctor and many other things. So you can also, when you run, or instead of taking the car, you can get rewarded tokens for being proactive with your health also. So this token, I think, can be very interesting in the future also, and that we will have in 2 weeks when we have some person from the Galvan community. So, and so let me introduce a person named Scott. I'm very interesting to hear about Scott today. And I've been following Scott every single presentation I can find because I learn so much every time. And I think it's a great presenter. And he was have his own show on Discovery Channel, Jungle Gold, for 5 years, if I'm not wrong. And find a lot of things in the gold industry that can be done better from the environmental things and so on, and so other many other things. And so what you will find out now is how a token can be worth more than the gold in the mine. So take pen and paper and really listen and take notes, because you maybe don't understand everything the first time. So I will introduce Scott, and the floor is yours. And we are really happy, appreciated to have you here today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Michael. I love talking about what we're doing, and I love talking to people who also catch the vision. Being a node holder in this new crypto blockchain world that we live in, you guys are early adopters. You are the people who we will look back and say, and you can look back with pride and say, remember the early days of Bitcoin or blockchain when we got in, because blockchain is going to change the world. And there's a lot of blockchain companies, a lot of crypto coins. And remember, there's a big difference between crypto coins and the blockchain. The blockchain is kind of that base, the technology that runs it all. And the better that technology, the better that base, the better that purpose, the more value your coin will have someday. And the reason, you look back at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin did so much because they were innovative, because they changed, they created new economies, they decentralized networks. It was this new concept where everybody dared to be different. And for those people that got in early, they were heavily rewarded by Bitcoin. And so what we're trying to do with our companies is to have blockchain with a purpose, because we know if we have purpose, it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to keep us around for a long time, and it's going to solve real world problems. Right now, there are new companies popping up every day, because they look at this blockchain as critical infrastructure. Some companies look at it as a fad, but either way, everybody's trying to look at, how do I use blockchain in my company? Now, 20 years ago, I was a technical recruiter for the .coms, out here in the United States, out in Silicon Valley. It's where all the big .com companies exploded. And I was what they called a headhunter. I was a recruiter. And all these companies were popping up. So business was good because everybody was hiring, everybody was getting funding. But very quickly, a lot of these companies started to fail. And it's because they fell in love with the idea of the .com. How do I get involved in e-commerce? How's the internet going to change my business? But didn't have anything solid behind them. So most of those companies went under. And you're going to see the same thing with blockchain companies. Most of the blockchain companies that are popping up now won't be here 2 years from now. And so we have to look at, number one, what is the utility of the blockchain and what you're trying to do and what your company is doing. So when you look at some of the family of companies within Connect, we're trying to solve real world problems. And the blockchain is really unique because it allows us to hack human behavior. If you can, think about it, would you have put a cell phone tower up in your yard if there was no financial reward for that? And so when we look at blockchain, the blockchain requires a broad, vast network of people. We need a lot of people in the network of our blockchain because, number one, we have a lot of transactions that need to be verified. But number two, it creates an economy for the reward. And so the bigger and more robust and more the adoption of your blockchain, the better your blockchain is going to be. So you've got to start hacking human behavior and bringing in people into the blockchain. And the way you do that is by giving them a financial reward for doing good. So look at some of our blockchains like Blue. Blue, you get paid in our digital reward to be healthy. Upload your workout, start a diet, use one of our telehealth doctors for preventative maintenance. You get rewarded for that. So what a novel concept, right? to get paid to be healthy rather than have to pay when you are unhealthy. So the blockchain, you can only do that with a blockchain. And so when we start looking at what are the problems in the world that the blockchain can solve, and that's what Wright has done an amazing job of doing, is looking at the world. Like, look at green, turning energy into a currency. Come on, everybody in the world will do that. That's why green is about to explode and do amazing things, in my opinion. And so when we look at what are the problems in the world, sometimes people don't understand what the problems are because they haven't experienced it. I didn't know all the problems in the gold and diamond and mining business until I was actually out there in that business. And even to this day, people don't really understand where the gold comes from. Now, I always show my finger, my ring. It's actually wood. I got it in Hawaii. It's koa wood. But I have my original gold ring. People don't realize all the problems that are involved in the gold world. And so at Element, we looked at, because I had a mining background, I was contacted by Wright, and he said, listen, we can do some very, very exciting things in the precious metals world. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and talk about a couple of things here. So hold on, let me get back to, let's see. So we're Element, and Element, we used to be called Digger, but we changed our name to Element because, and we've even changed our logo 2 or 3 times. Even the logo you have, Michael's, is going to be updated soon, because as our mission broadens, so should our messaging. And so Element is we are digitizing in-ground assets, gold, diamonds, copper. If it's valuable and it's pulled out of the ground, we are digitizing that and creating a new economy around that. So obviously you guys are familiar with Gala. You guys know the history, you know the background, and I'll tie this into Gala a little bit later, why they're relative to what we're doing. And you also know that we have a family of companies. You've already talked about several of those. I'm wearing my Switch shirt in solidarity with Brad, my brother Brad, because I love what they're doing. I have every shirt except Element because we're changing our logo, so I don't have any swag for Element yet. But we have this family of blockchains designed to solve real world problems. And if we can do that, our blockchain is going to grow, and we hope that reward has value someday. And if you start with your why am I doing what I'm doing, and focus on that relentlessly, you can have a successful company. Because if you're solving real world problems and giving people a financial incentive to do so, then real world problems are going to get solved. Because everybody says, oh, great, I understand there's this problem in the world and this problem in the world, but most people won't engage unless there's something that benefits them. Now, not all people, obviously. I mean, we know that there's a lot of charity, a lot of good people out there in the world. But again, we can help push people along toward a good cause by creating this financial incentive. And that's what Element is designed to do. So I was going to show a really quick clip here about how I came to know firsthand how the problems in the mining world exist. So I'm going to stop sharing and reshare a different screen here for just 1 second. So bear with me.
This is insane. We're in the middle.
Bear with me for 1 second while I switch my screens here. And this is how I came to know firsthand the problems that exist in the mining world.
Test reports indicate their pit could hold as much as $60,000 worth of gold. But after washing their first 250 tons of pay gravel, they found just a third of an ounce of gold worth just $550. To start sending money home to Utah, the last 750 tons in this pit must hold gold. Early signs indicate they are on the gold.
What we're seeing here looks pretty good. So 2 hours of work, we're seeing pretty decent results here for 2 hours, which means this gravel we might have hit a much better patch.
But just a few hours into their cleanup, Scott calls a halt to the wash.
Trap. Yeah. Hear that? That's an excavator. Chinese guys. The Chinese guys are coming back, our neighbors here. Here come all their guys on foot. We had this place to ourselves, now they're back.
Scott lost his first claim in Ghana to Chinese miners. And he's concerned his new neighbors could be about to bully him off his second mine.
I think a fight might be coming today.
It's the latest in a series of aggressive standoffs with neighboring miners.
Is this your land? He's going to tell you it's his land no matter what. What's he going to say?
Each confrontation has escalated.
You have a guy right here with a shotgun.
In a campaign of intimidation that has left the guys rattled. And now their neighbors are heading towards them in force.
All right. So yeah, I spent a couple of years on Discovery Channel. I was gold miner out in Ghana, and let me get back to my screen here. Sorry, I lost my my slide presentation. That's okay. So I'll find it here in just one second. So yeah, I spent a couple of years out in Ghana, and while I was out there, I came to see a lot of the problems that exist out in the gold mining industry. And so many problems exist out there because of the economy. And because of the economy that exists out in Ghana, they let in a lot of illegal miners, a lot of them from China. And, oh, here's my screen. Let me go ahead and reshare here. Sorry about that. Let's see. So let's get back to this. Okay, there we go. All right. And so a lot of the problems that exist out there, I got to see firsthand. Number one, the majority of the miners out in Ghana are from China, and a lot of them are illegal. Now you ask yourself, how did 25,000 illegal Chinese miners get out to Ghana? Well, they got there because the government let them in, because there's big revenue that comes from gold mining that the government gets a piece of. So they let all of the people come in. And you might also say, well, how do they get out there to these mines? How do the people let them out there to just tear up the forest and do all this, the environmental destruction? And the people out there in Ghana, they actually are complicit in what's happening here, even the villagers, because as you can see in this picture here, this is an angry guy. My partner here, George, actually fought him. You can YouTube it, choked him out in the water, because behind him, you can see all these cocoa plantations. This is a big cocoa plantation that we bought and we tore down to do our mining. And his sister was the cocoa plantation owner. So he didn't know. He showed up and saw us working and didn't know that his sister had sold us. But she sold us this farm because there's more money in gold than there is in cocoa farming. So we went in and we actually tore down this entire cocoa plantation, because, even for us, we were thinking, oh, we're doing these guys a favor because they're going to make more money in gold than they are in cocoa. And so when we get out there, we realize all the major problems that are happening out there in the gold mining world. Number one are the environmental problems. Most of the gold mines out in the Amazon and in Africa are along the riverbanks, because we do what's called placer mining. And placer mining, the closer the water to the water you are, the higher the gold concentration. Unfortunately, that's also where the villages are. That's also where the cocoa plantations are. And so the environmental devastation that happens in mining is massive. So this is actually a picture from Ghana, and this is what it looks like after you go in and do mining. And this used to be, so you can see the river up here toward the top of the screen. And this used to be a cocoa plantation, and it all got torn down. So when the mining is done, this is what's left. And there's absolute utter destruction and devastation. And for the little bit of money that they made, they've lost their plantations, they've lost their rivers, they've lost a lot of their livelihood. But they're willing to do it because for about a year while you're there mining, they make a little bit of money, because there's more in that short term than there is in their village economy of typically just cocoa plantations. So this is a picture from the Amazon. There's a ton of mining that happens in the Amazon, most of it from foreign miners. And I worked in Guyana on a project, and this picture is actually from Brazil. but this is exactly what it looks like when the mining is done. Keep in mind, this entire picture a few months before this would have been full of lush rainforest, and it all gets torn down so that people can come in there and take all the gold out of the ground. And most people in the world don't understand the devastating environmental effects that mining has, but that's the tip of the iceberg in the problems. That is just one of the many problems. There's a lot of corruption in the gold mining industry. Gold is being centralized. It's being hoarded by the few. So when I mentioned that 25,000 illegal miners from China are in Ghana, that's been happening for 30 years, all over Africa, all over South America, all over the world. A few countries like Russia, China, India have been mining gold and wreaking havoc on the environment, but they've been mining gold so that they can store it. Now, here's where this gets a little bit scary, okay? So China, now you look at all currencies, especially the dollar, like in the United States, it was once upon a time, it was based on gold, and people had full faith and credit in the United States government because of our gold reserves. What's happening right now with inflation in the United States, the dollar being weakened, and all these other countries accumulating massive amounts of gold, the balance of power is shifting, and it's shifting over to countries that may not have the world's best interest at heart. Not that the United States always does, but now you're starting to look at all the insane amount of gold that's available in China, and now it's changing people's perception of the dollar. Now the dollar is the world's reserve currency, and China is accumulating gold so that they can displace the US dollar as the world's international currency, reserve currency. So you guys know that all oil in the world has to be sold in USD, okay? That's what gives the United States a lot of power and influence in the world, where China's trying to disrupt that. They know that if they acquire as much gold as possible, that they can shift that balance of power and change the way the world works. Now, gold absolutely has power. And you guys know the golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules. There's a lot of truth in that. Now, and here's what we're seeing in real time. So this article is from, look down at the bottom, March 15th. So just about a month ago. Saudi Arabia considers accepting the yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. Now that alone right there will probably start World War III. And so this is massive. This is the beginning of the big shift away from the US dollar into looking at other currencies, for trading oil. And the reason why this is happening is because of the power of gold, because a few big actors, powerful countries and companies have been accumulating gold and centralizing it. Go back to blockchain or Bitcoin. Bitcoin was designed to decentralize, right? And to create a coin that wasn't subject to governments or companies. And so the exact opposite is happening right now in gold. They are centralizing gold. Only the few powerful can mine, and they do so at the expense of the environment and local economies and these marginalized communities. So a lot of damage is being done. And so the environmental effects aside, right? The hoarding aside, you have to look at what is really happening in the gold world. It is being centralized. It is being hoarded, and only the few have access to it. They might give a few crumbs to the people that live on top of the gold in these villages, but it's being centralized and used for power. And sometimes these actors are nefarious actors on the world stage. And so very scary things are happening in the world right now because of the power of gold. So there's environmental problems, there's corruption problems. Also, gold mining is dangerous. I saw it firsthand in my 5 years in Ghana. I saw people dying every day. And so mining has many problems with it. So the question that we want to ask is, what if blockchain technology could eliminate some of the problems in the precious metals industry? And that's the big question that we're trying to solve. The big problem that we're trying to solve is what can blockchain technology do to eliminate some of these problems? Well, as we know, the blockchain is a decentralized community of people on computers. And so we look at it and we go, okay, I'm not going to go to Ghana. I'm not going to go to the Amazon. So how do you expect me to help? And we're going to show you today how Element helps solve problems, how you at home in front of your computer can help solve some of the problems because of this reward system that's inherent in the blockchain process. And as you guys know, I mean, we look back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin created this blockchain, this immutable ledger that allows people to have an open, honest dialogue that spit out a reward that has value. And so what we're trying to do is to create a new value. We want to control, verify, and then digitize in-ground assets. So let me say that again. So we want to control, meaning own, or have the rights to in-ground assets. Okay, then we're going to verify those assets, and then we're going to digitize those assets. We're essentially going to first acquire mineral rights. I worked in Ghana, I worked in Guyana. Our partner that I'll talk about in 1 minute works in Alaska. We've got mines in Arizona and Nevada that want to work with us. Our objective is to, number one, acquire gold mines, acquire rights. And we're going to start in Ghana. We're going to do some in Guyana, and obviously we've got mines already pegged up in Alaska. So once we acquire, now people ask, how are you acquiring these mines? And there's two ways we're doing that. Number one, we're using the proceeds from node sales to help acquire these mines. Number two, we're trading nodes for the gold mines. Now, if you think about that, that's pretty exciting, because that means the gold mine owners are seeing more value in the digital side of things than they are in the actual gold. And that's what our objective is, and I'm going to talk about in just 1 second. So once we acquire these gold mines, we have to verify what's in the ground. If you're going to digitize something, you need to know how much you're digitizing. It has to be quantifiable. So we're going to verify these assets. We're going to use scanning technology. We're working with a company called Zong out here in the West in the United States to scan our mines, tell us what's there. And then we go and we drill. We do what's called a 43101 report, where we actually do core drillings, where we can pull up those cores and measure the amount of gold in them, and we can figure out exactly what is in there. Now that is critical. Verifying the in-ground assets is critical to this next step, which is digitizing them. We have to create a new economy around gold. So this is the most important question of Element. What if in-ground gold can be made as valuable or more valuable than above ground gold? Okay. What if in-ground gold can be made as valuable or more valuable than above ground gold? And the answer to that is that if we could do that, the gold will stay in the ground. Gold staying in the ground helps us solve problems. It helps make sure that gold isn't being centralized and hoarded by nefarious actors like China and other countries. And it makes sure that people aren't being marginalized and taken advantage of. And it makes sure that the environment stays clean and isn't being abused by those seeking power through gold. So if we can create a new economy around gold, if we can digitize gold, so you take gold here on the left, you create a digital representation or replacement for that gold, and you put that out into the metaverse through our blockchain. Now we're talking, now we're changing. We live in this new metaverse now. We live in this new economy where everything has a digital value. They do these little bored apes, right? These little NFTs they create of digital assets that are now worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. So digital assets now have value. So what if that digital asset was actually supported or backed by actual in-ground assets? Now think about the value of that digital asset. So our digital assets now have value, and that's everywhere. You're seeing NFT this, NFT that. Some of you don't even understand what NFTs are. I barely understand what NFTs are. But because digital assets have value, we are going to digitize in-ground assets and create a new economy. We are going to replace the gold economy, part of the gold economy, with a new digital economy with in-ground assets. So if we replace the in-ground value with a digital representation, what that will do is it'll create a fair economy. It'll create not just an economy, not just for the rich and powerful, for those people that can afford to go out there and mine. And so you even look at right now, look at the analogy between mining and Bitcoin. Right now, if you want to mine Bitcoin, you got to be kind of a rich guy. You got to have multiple servers running. You know, you've got to have a ton of money. If you want to be a gold miner, you have to be a rich guy. You have to have a ton of influence and power and money to go out there. And so, you know, Bitcoin is kind of, you know, that's why our blockchains are so unique, because Bitcoin has become unaffordable now, right, to mine. And what started out as a great concept now has changed. That's exactly what happens in gold mining. Gold mining is available only to the few. So we are trying to decentralize this gold economy. And so there are several ways we can do that. One of the ways that's the most exciting, which is why I showed the Gala logo in the beginning, is that we can digitize gold by gamification. Okay. Now, I got a question for you. I don't know if they show wherever you guys live around the country. Sometimes they show these commercials for gold. And whenever they have a gold commercial, it's always an old guy, white hair, right? Because they know that the seniors and a little bit older crowd, they love gold because of its security and its safety. So there already is inherently built into this gold economy, an older crowd, but the crypto crowd is younger. So we have to broaden the scope of who sees value in gold. So by gamification, we can bring in a much broader audience. And this also tends to be the demographic that sees value in saving the rainforest and saving marginalized communities and helping people. And so we have this idea. One of the ways we're going to digitize gold is by creating a game. Now, we have these gold mines I mentioned to you guys earlier that we are purchasing. And once the critical nature of verifying what's in the ground is because it has application in the game. So when we buy a gold mine, we have to verify and find out how much gold is in the ground, and just as importantly, where the gold is in the ground. Because what we're going to do is we're in works right now. This game exists right now. It's called Planet Gold Rush. And we are buying this game, and I'll show you who we're buying it from in just 1 second. And the reason why is we're going to tokenize. We're going to tokenize this game and create digital rewards that come from this game. And so the reason why we're doing that is because this allows us to replace or transfer the value of the in-ground gold into the digital world. So if I have a gold mine, so let's go back and say, this gold mine right here in Ghana, okay? So I buy a gold mine in Ghana. I do a report on it, and I have, actually, let's show you this one right here. This is a better representation. This is a slide I'm actually looking for. So in this slide right here, look to the right of it. This is showing me where the gold is and how deep it is, okay? So now, and this is a real world gold mine, okay? This is a picture from one of the gold mines that we're in negotiations with to buy. It's an unmined gold mine that has about $6 billion worth of gold in the mine. So if we take this screen right here on the right, and we put a game interface over it right here, now we gamified gold mining. So we're going to be mining that gold mine, but in the digital world. And we're going to keep the gold in the ground. But since we know where the gold is in real life, you can put that in the game. Now, the people playing the game won't know where the gold is, but we're going to put it in the game. And as they find the gold in the game, it's being verified and recorded on the blockchain. So we are confirming transactions on the blockchain of where the real gold assets are, but you're being rewarded for that with coins in the digital world. So now we've replaced the value of gold and brought the digital version of it into the digital world. So by playing the game, our younger audiences can help us verify the gold in the ground and keep the gold in the ground. Because again, they bought nodes, they're playing our game, and they're helping to preserve the in-ground gold and being rewarded for it by playing a game. Now, some of the questions I get are, well, Scott, I'm not a game player. I just want a node that kicks out a reward. No problem. You're going to do that. We're just trying to broaden the audience by owning a node and by meeting the minimum requirements, by keeping your node plugged in 6 hours a day and all the other requirements that come along with your other nodes. You're going to get rewarded anyway. But this is how we bring in a younger audience and how we transfer the value of in-ground assets into this digital world. This is only one of the ways. And we're going to talk about a couple other ways that we're going to do that. But this is one of the ways. And the reason why this is important for us is because it creates an economy. It creates value and utility for your coin. So the more users we have in this game and the more transactions that are happening, let's just say I'm not a gamer and I just have a node running. Look at the economy that I'm creating by having this game for my token. There were 1 million users that downloaded this game when it wasn't tokenized. Imagine if we had 1 million or 2 million people playing this game and we're creating an economy for our token, whether we're game players or not. So think about all the boxes this checks, okay? Number one, we're preserving the in-ground asset and gamifying it. So you're mining the game, which helps preserve and keep the gold in the ground. Some of the proceeds from the node and from the game go to purchase these gold mines, okay? So that in and of itself is helping to keep the gold mining in the ground while we gamify it. Number two, it's creating an economy inside the game. Number three, inside the game, we're going to have advertisements for all the other blockchains. So we'll have a bank in the game where you can go and exchange your coins powered by Switch. Some of your equipment in the game will be powered by Green. And, healthcare, we'll have a little hospital powered by Galvin or Blue. And so we're creating this whole economy in the game that supports all of our brands. And so not only is it helping with the utility and value of the Element coin, but it's helping with all the others as well. So we can have our entire ecosystem inside this game. And so now, when you earn coins in this game, you can hold them, which most people will do, or you can use those coins for in-game purchases, to buy bigger equipment, to mine more gold. Or we have the idea to actually exchange your coins for real physical gold that's already been mined, that's already out of the ground. And so we're thinking about that option for exchanging, because there will be some people that want to exchange it for in-ground gold. Or you can spend your coins and go gold mining with us, go with our celebrity endorser who you're going to see next. Or you can also donate to the village. In fact, we're going to require that a percentage of all coins that are generated by our nodes and in the game go back to support these communities. Because remember this, when we stop mining, they're losing income. Now, it's better for them to keep the mining, the cocoa farming and some of the other things they're doing going, but they're losing income. So we need to replace that. Remember, when we say we have to make the in-ground gold more valuable than above ground gold, that applies to the villages as well. We have to make them more money by not mining. We have to incentivize them. And so if we can take a percentage of all the coins that we have and build schools to educate them, teach them sustainable farming, increase their cocoa production, if we can do all these things for them so that they see a net benefit of Element, they see more value from the digital version of what we're doing than the actual physical, then they will be incentivized to keep the gold in the ground, to help protect the gold, to make sure that nobody comes in and encroaches on the gold. And so they're going to be our partners in this. And obviously you guys know about Liberty. They're one of our other blockchains. We work hand in hand with Liberty to protect the gold, to make sure that nobody's mining on it. So when we acquire these gold mines, we know that it stays in the ground. So we're creating this big economy just from the game. And that's only one of the ways. So you earn rewards by playing the game, or don't play and still earn rewards, guys. It's up to you. I'm not a big game player myself. The last game I played was Super Nintendo, Mario, or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And so again, when we acquire these gold mines, a lot of times we're going to own the gold. Now in Ghana, you have to be Ghanaian. You can't own the gold. But some of the gold mines that we're looking at in the United States, we have to own it. We will literally own the entire gold mine. And so then what? What happens now? Now we know that we have to keep the gold in the ground. We can never pull it up, or else our entire message is out the window. So we have to create new economies, and we're going to create new economies around the gold that we own. And so we're going to do this with our partner, Todd Hoffman. Todd Hoffman is a substantial owner of Element. He has a big reach worldwide. Many of you guys have seen him on Discovery International. If you're not in the United States, he has a brand new show called Hoffman Family Gold. He is our ambassador. And you might think it's ironic that the world's most famous gold miner is the ambassador for an anti-gold mining company, but he's kind of in his repentance phase. He wants to show that you can mine sustainably, that you can still, because we still need gold. Gold powers economies. Gold, everybody has gold in their phone and their computer and on their hands. You still need gold, but what we're trying to do is encourage and push innovative techniques using tailings piles, mining old gold mines, and not harming the environment. And that's what his objective is to do that. And so we are in the process of looking into creating carbon credits for unmined land, so that companies can come in and buy carbon credits and make sure that that unmined gold stays unmined by receiving carbon credits. And then what about the NFT world? We have a new plan to NFT all of the gold mines, all of the unmined gold mines. We're going to NFT them, divide them up into, each mine could be divided up into 10,000 different NFTs that we sell. on the open market on OpenSea, and we have this whole gamification process. So the NFTs can be bought now and then put into the game later. People can sell their NFTs in the game to these gold miners who are gold mining in the game. So there's so many different economies that we can create. One of the other things we can do is lend. Now that we have assets, we wanted to do microloans. Now we've got the backing of all the gold. We want to create new economies in these marginalized communities where they can actually borrow. Not only are we going to be doing a lot of humanitarian and giving, but we can turn into banks for these folks, because now we have created so many new economies because we have this in-ground vault of all these gold and precious metals. So many different economies and so many different utilities are created by keeping the gold in the ground. Now, we're not the first people to do this, and we have competition. You guys, some of you guys have heard of, Dignity, and there's one called Nature's Vault or IGG. So the good thing about that is that we have proof of concept that this works, that people are seeing value in-ground assets. We're just going to do it better than them because we have the game. It'd be great if we can do a joint venture with Gala and have them do the game, because they've already got a massive audience. And so that's our plan, is to do a joint venture and a partnership with them. We haven't cut any deals yet, but we would love to cut a deal with Gala because they've already got a big audience, and people have already made a lot of money with Gala. And so between the relationship with Gala and the relationship with Todd Hoffman, with worldwide exposure and all of the things that we have in our relationship with the other blockchains, we truly believe that we're going to have a big expansive reach. Now, what about all the gold that's already been mined? There's above ground gold, diamonds, jewelry. There's a lot of fraud in the jewelry business. There's a lot of problems with blood diamonds, conflict diamonds. The Element blockchain is perfectly positioned to solve these problems. All of the supply chain issues in the gold and diamond world can be solved with the blockchain. Proof of origin. There's a process called the Kimberley process in the diamond world that ensures that your diamond is not a conflict diamond, that no one died mining that diamond. And then there's new synthetic diamonds that this blockchain can proof of origin and proof of ownership, from the mine to the diamond cutter to the wholesaler to the retailer to all the way to the customer, can all be done on the blockchain. And so we can solve a lot of the problems that exist in supply chain and in origin of diamonds and gold through the blockchain. We also are working on what's called our eVault. The eVault is a way for you to create an NFT for existing precious metals, jewelry, antiques. You can create an NFT and store it in our eVault that we're working on. So that creates a digital ownership of your asset, so that if it gets stolen or when you go to sell it, you can sell it and your buyer can buy it with the confidence knowing that there's an NFT. And that might make a lot of sense, might not make a lot of sense right now, but believe me, everything will be an NFT in the next 5 years. Everything will come. Every commercial you see, everything, every product sold will come with an NFT, with a digital certificate of ownership. So by us jumping into this process, and there's already a couple competitors of us that are doing this as well. Again, proof of concept. This is real. This works. And so we're working a deal with Tiffany's. We're to be our first person. In fact, he's doing his wife's engagement ring with Tiffany's. That's going to be the first NFT created in our eVault. And so there's so much utility. Think about all the jewelry stores. Think about all the artifacts that people have where they would want to put that in an NFT to have proof of ownership or proof of origin. And think about how many jewelry transactions happened all over the world that our blockchain can be verifying. So people look at it and they say, okay, so what are the things that my node will be doing? What are these transactions? Now, obviously, when there's a value to the coin and there's a lot of volume, like you look at Gala's got about $1 billion in volume a day. Your nodes will be verifying those transactions, but the nodes will potentially be doing all the jewelry transactions, all the transactions within the game. So your nodes are going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of transactions and potentially a lot of rewards that come from that. So when we look at what is the utility of my node, is my node going to be productive? Is it going to be doing anything? Absolutely, yes. I think probably more than any other blockchain because of all the potential transactions that exist out there. Think about the purpose. What is the purpose of Element? why are we doing what we're doing? There's a lot of reasons why we do what we do. We are creating a new economy and decentralizing gold. We're helping marginalized communities. We're helping broaden the economy, broaden the consumer base in the gold world. And by doing that, we decentralize, we give more people opportunity, and we create new economies for gold and other precious elements. And so for us, we look at what we're doing and we say, look, yes, we've got competitors in the jewelry side, we've got competitors in the in-ground gold side, but nobody can do it better than we can. We have, you guys know who we are, you know what we do, we have zero debt, we have experience. A couple of our blockchains have done it before. We have a clear path, a launch and a release path. And so we know that, and we have confidence that there's a real purpose behind what we're doing. Now, can we guarantee anything? Nope. I mean, could Element fail drastically? Of course. Could you guys buy nodes and mine for 2 years and be sitting on, 20, 30 million coins that have no value? Sure. We don't believe that, but it's a possibility. That's why we don't make any guarantees. But ask yourself this: what is the purpose of what you're doing? Who's running this company? What's your history? And what is the utility of your node? In my humble opinion, we check all those boxes. And the utility of the Element node, I believe, is strong. I believe it's going to have a big purpose, and it's going to be solving real world problems, helping real people, while giving all of our node holders a financial benefit or possibility to get involved, to help us. And so if you have to give a financial reward to stay healthy, do it. Then it'll help you. If you have to give a financial reward to help veterans, then do it. A financial reward to conserve energy and to get solar on your house, great, let's do it. Or if you have to give a financial reward to create new economies around precious metals to help marginalized communities, decentralize gold, and create a broader audience for the gold world, then that's what we do. And so that's what we do at Element. And we're excited to have you guys part of that process. And then I do have a list of questions that you guys have, and I'm going to answer some of these questions. So number one, the security of the mines. I showed you a video clip of gold miners from other countries claim jumping, and that happens a lot. Luckily, we have Liberty. You guys know who Liberty is. We have a whole bunch of ex special forces that work for us, and we have some assigned to the Element account who are going to be doing monthly spot checks. We also have local security to make sure that these mines aren't being claim jumped. Now, the government in Ghana and these other countries, they do have a minerals commission that strictly enforces claim jumping because it's such a big part of their economy. They have to be seen as legitimate. So they will literally send out a truck full of people in military fatigues to enforce the mine boundaries. Another question is, as well as within companies, so that goes not two places. So off-chain mining will start around June. So right now we're just in pre-sales. We're very early. You're looking at a very rudimentary presentation. We don't even have our correct logo. Our website is basically a placeholder. It's all going to look very different in the next couple of weeks. That's how early we are. So we always use the phrase, especially with Connect, if everything was running perfect, you've missed the opportunity. And so one of the things that comes along with being a risk taker and an early adapter is that not everything is going to run perfectly smooth, and we understand that. So what will the price increase look like for the smart nodes in Element when you have probably sold more than 1,500 nodes? So we've already sold about 1,500 nodes. We're going to keep our price down as long as we can. We're fighting every day with accounting to keep it at 2,500. They can call me tomorrow and say, hey, sorry, we're changing the price up to, because you guys know how the price increases. For now, we're still at 2,500, and we're fighting hard to keep that at 2,500 as long as we can. But that decision is made a couple pay grades above my head. And so it could change at any time. So people who play the game, they can optimize number of tokens. Yep, you receive in the game. Yep. Okay, let's see. So realistically, so we can launch the NFTs a lot earlier than the game. So we're looking at a workaround for launching NFTs in a game-ish within 90 to 120 days, but the actual full version of the game probably won't be done for a year. That doesn't mean your nodes aren't going to work. That doesn't mean you're not going to still be getting rewards. That just means the actual gameplay is about a year out. And so we'll know more about that once we've signed on the game and whether we're going to work with Gala or not. Gala can make it go a lot quicker for us. And so we're hoping for a relationship there. So yeah, we have billions of dollars worth of gold rights, and how much is clear and what does the process look like going forward? So the $6 billion, the gold mine, we're about to sign that contract. And so we will own that free and clear, and we're trading that for nodes. And there's 3 other gold mines we're working with. And so we will be exchanging nodes and a little bit of cash in some cases for the rights. Sometimes the rights will be pledged. Sometimes they'll be owned outright by the company. And so each gold mine will look a little bit different. Like I mentioned, in Ghana, you can't own the gold mine. You can own the rights with a Ghanaian partner. So we have a lady named Faustina out in Ghana that owns 19 gold mines, and she's doing a joint venture with us. We're giving her nodes. We're making sure that she's making more than she would have if she had sold the gold mines, because typically she'd make a percentage of all the gold. And so we're going to make it worth more to her so that she gives us all those rights. So season 2 of Todd Hoffman's series began 2 weeks ago. So you can see that if you're in the United States every Friday night on Discovery Channel at 7 p.m. Let's see. So yeah, so the game will be owned by Element within the next 48 hours. Let's see. I had a question here about Todd. Yeah, Todd will be talking about, so the goal with Todd is that he's wearing everything Element in season 2. So season 1 is airing because they filmed that last year. And so Todd, as our ambassador, is in negotiations literally this week with Discovery Channel to make sure when he's on TV, all his equipment and all his shirts say Element, so he can promote it, because he believes in our cause and he wants to make sure that the entire world knows. You know, we had the idea of putting a little QR code at the bottom of the screen so people can take a picture of it and it pulls up the Element site. We're hoping to be able to accomplish that as well. And Discovery Channel is very environmentally conscious. And so I think they're going to like what we present to them and get behind what we're trying to do. And then let's see. And so, yes. And so we're working with Tiffany's. We'll give you guys more updates once we've signed contracts with Tiffany's and with these other jewelry stores. So yeah, that's, you know, those are some of the main questions that I usually get. And so let's see here. So yeah, our nodes basically work off of a concept of, you know, proof of availability. No one really talks about that because we want to say that we're more proof of action. Your nodes are going to earn rewards with very minimal effort, but we want to reward you a lot more if you take proof of action. We want to make sure that you're being involved and that, you know, there's real community participation in what we're trying to do. So that's how we've set up all of our nodes, is that you're going to make a lot more by taking action and by being a contributor to what we're doing. So that's all I've got, guys. Again, you guys can obviously through this Connect app, you can buy the nodes. They're $2,500. The price increase, I don't know. We fight every day to keep it down. And I'm not trying to like, oh, buy now, the price is going to increase, but you guys know how it works. The price always increases, which makes it easier because whenever I give a presentation, I can honestly, with full integrity, say, today is the cheapest that you will ever find the price, because it goes up. It just does. You guys know what a Gala node costs. It's about $100,000 right now. So yeah, that's what we've got. And I'm excited to have you guys, to be working with you guys. Anything that you guys need, you know, we want to do these pretty often because things change rapidly with us as far as new announcements. And, you know, we've signed this gold mine. Here's the progress we're making on this front. And so we want to give you guys updates on where we're at with everything. So I'd love to be a part of your group as often as possible to make sure full transparency and full accountability, full communication with you guys. And we want to make sure that you have a great experience with Element. And we, you know, there is competition with our other partners. You know, we want to make sure that when you deal with Element, that there's a difference, that you're getting responded to, that you know where we're at, that you're getting constant emails. And so that's what we're hopefully trying to accomplish with you guys. So appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Scott. And I find an issue on the shopping cart once, and you know, 15 minutes later, I have a Zoom meeting with Ali from the customer experience. It was a fantastic experience. So that was great. So I think this is a great sustainable ecosystem for everyone to find a way to be involved in the element. If you like gaming, you can do that. If you don't like gaming, you can run your node. So it's a great way for everyone to participate in this ecosystem and take part and make it sustainable for a purpose also. So thank you so much, and I'm really happy that you answered all the questions also, because that was very glad that you took your time there also. So fantastic, and I think everyone that are interested to have more information, if you're interested to know more about the nodes and so on, take discussion with the person that invited you to this meeting, and the product is the most important thing, and then comes support. And then we have other things also in the Connect, but I think the product is the most important thing that we have here. So thank you so much, and I'm really happy. So I will hope we see you soon again.
Time. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. So have a great evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world, and we meet again very soon. And Luciano, do you want to say anything before we wrap up here?
No, a great Zoom. You know, I am in Toscana in Italy, having some meeting and also as vacation. So this is the great thing about our thing that we are doing with Connect, with Element and with all the rest of these projects, that we can work wherever we want and talk to people, you know, and give them the good information, like the information that we got today. Yeah, it's making you think about, wow, this is the real future about everything that has to do with NFT, metaverse, blockchain, the community. So I think that we are in the right way, in the right place with the company. So yeah, I'm grateful to be in the team that we have. And as you can see today, most of the people came from Scandinavia, but we have started to work now in both in South America. I'm from South America, Asia, in Africa, in some places in Europe. So you will be looking at us from everywhere soon.
That's great. We have one question for Residual Ron there, if you can unmute yourself.
Hey, nice to meet you, Scott. I'm Residual Ron. I'm on the USA team here. We just like to say nice to meet you. You already answered our question, so I was in another meeting and I was trying to put my hand down. But thank you guys for giving me time on here. Like he said, that's the greatest thing about what we do. We're able to.
Sorry, I don't think Scott is still here. So.
Okay, well, team, all of you.
Yeah.
I had my hand up earlier.
Okay.
But like I was saying, the question was answered. It was about the proof of action. So.
Okay. I think we will have more information about that very soon.
Absolutely.
We know the point system in Gala, how that works. So maybe it's going to be something like that also. We don't know exactly.
So is the another question that came in while I was on another call was about the actual software and then the VPS instructions. Does anyone know if any of that has been updated like we have for Green, where we can set up the VPS?
I don't think we yet can set up the VPS for Element yet. I think we can create a wallet and link it, but I don't think we can run the nodes for it yet. If someone else have some other answer for that, but that's what I find out so far. Because the mining will start in beginning of June, he said. So I think we will have information on that really soon.
Okay, is it June? Before it was May 1st, so
yeah.
June's fine, actually. You know, we're just super excited about the project and have instant gratification. Our license were supplied today and the back office assigned. So, you know, we're just excited to get going and mine those first blocks, but we'll wait for everything to take place.
Yeah.
Know, and we'll keep on building.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you so much for sharing, and great that we are, because in Connect we are here, everyone is working together to make this ecosystem the most valuable ecosystem in the world and to build the biggest blockchain community in the world. So everyone helps each other. That's what I love with this one.
All
So,
right, let's work together. I love it. Thank you for giving me time.
yeah,
We'll talk later. Ciao.
yeah, thank you so much. So, okay, so Luciano, you want to end this meeting or?
Yeah, we can end it now. Like I said, happy to see so many people from Scandinavia and some other places from other teams. And like Michael said, it's so nice to see that we're all like a big family or a big community, that we need to stand together and work for what we believe in the future. So with that, I think we can end it today. Hopefully we have some other questions in our website. You can ask us and anything that you need.
Yep. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening. And let's keep in touch very soon again. Bye bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.